Welcome and welcome back. We are here with another goal setting video at the end of the month. So, what are we looking at here? You might notice this month seems a little bit more scant than normal. The goals actually begin here and in here. End, pardon me, here. And here's what I want to remind everyone, and I think it's important to remember this. I am an idiot. So I'm going to every once in a while what I do is I put myself in a terrible type of situation in order to try to keep moving forward with something. But it's not just being stupid. There is a bit of stupid philosophy to it. In fact, it is something of a stoic philosophy. We have here a quote from the Stoic Seneca. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, is this the condition that I feared? Every once in a while, I try to accept a challenge for myself. Voluntary discomfort. Voluntary discomfort is, I think, one of the hallmarks of self improvement. Now, obviously, voluntary discomfort in the gym, for example, is exactly how it is that you end up making yourself better, making yourself stronger, better, faster, stronger, right? Where's Kanye West when you need him? So I believe wholeheartedly that these different um, sectors into which I break my life down. The creative stuff, the creative video type stuff, the physical stuff, the work stuff, all of these things. Every once in a while, you have to make yourself extremely uncomfortable in one of, if not all of them. Because if you want to get better at something, you're not going to just get better at it by rote. If you want to grow with something, you're not going to get better at that. You're not going to grow through that by rote. So for me, heading into the summer here, the summer is normally where I do a whole lot more of the physical work that I do, the walking, the running, the lifting, the things like that. I do that stuff more seasonally than anything because there's just so many things in life that I want to get done, that I want to do, that I want to get through, that I want to learn and grow at. That seasonality to those things sort of helps me. So you'll notice here a term that I have not used this year on the channel, daily battery. When I try to do a daily battery, it's because I feel like I need to kick my own butt. I need to. What a daily battery is a daily set of expectations, something you have to do every day. You will notice 100 push ups and 100 crunches will not be related to any of the other goals that I have here. And here are the big goals that I have to do this month. All of this stuff here is sort of tertiary. These other goals are more scant because these are the big ones to get done. The daily battery. April is National Poetry Month. So I'm going to be doing one poetry discussion every day during the month of April. Something that I love doing, something that I think is part of, is going to sound silly, right? But part of my life's work. The poetry discussions in particular, poetry is something that I hold near and dear, but it is sort of dying, right? I've read some of the milk and honey type poems, and I don't think those are real good representations of what poetry is or does or should be or anything like that. But look, I'm not here to disparage that, right? I just think that there is a gap for many generations of poetry. The last real poet that I respect is Charles Bukowski. Bukowski died in 1993, I believe, so 30 years ago. Um, if that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what will. But so a daily battery. I want to do a poetry discussion every day because I have to post one on a stripped cover lit every day. This is my own personal deal here. Write 1,000 words every day for something that's off the table. not public. Okay. The 1 mile every day is a minimum expectation, and I'll get to why in a second. I'm not going to be able to afford to skip a single day this month. And 50 words creatively. Remember that teal color is what I do for my writing. Now, the prime goals this month, the only four things that I have to accomplish, that I absolutely have to accomplish, bar none. 30 poetry discussions, a poetry discussion every day. 30 products. Again, this is related to the 1,000 words. This is a personal thing I have off the table. 5 videos on this channel. Now, sort of loosely, a video could be 1,000 words. Like most videos, if you are looking at something in particular, 1,000 words. So essentially, these goals right here come to 65 videos. Um, Anyone who is a creator understands how sort of off-putting that can be. A 65 video catalog in a 30-day period to grow to do that many products in 1 month is disastrous on every other front in life. In fact, most years that I've done the 30 poetry discussions, I've really struggled for it. Instead, this year, I am focusing on 65 of those individual projects in addition to 100 miles on the month. I want to get 100 miles in on the month because last year, my first 100-mile month was May. And I did May, June, July, August, September, October, and November. And then I fell off in December. So I had 7 consecutive months over 100 miles. And I think it ended up being almost 900 miles at the end of it because several of them were 150, 160-mile months. So to start a month earlier, I want to start a month earlier because I want to finally lose all of the weight that I'm trying to lose. I want to have a great big push this summer in order to really get some of the things done that I want. I'm feeling my age, guys. I'm looking 40 years old in the eyes, and I don't want to go into my 40s being the person that I am now. So the 100 miles is important to me. That's why I can't afford to have any days where I skip walking or running. Now, this is not so. The way I'm going to do this on my Tuesdays, I walk 6 miles. On my Fridays, I'm going to be walking 10 miles. That's 16 there. You have to average about 25 a week, right? So 30 days, that is 4 weeks plus 2 days. So when you're looking at the month of April, I will have 4 Fridays, that's 40 miles, 4 Tuesdays, that's 24 miles. So that's 64 miles right there. 64 miles in 8 days, I will have 22 days left to accumulate those extra miles. I have to average a little over 2 miles, right? Top of my head math, trying to talk it out. Maybe I'm doing that wrong, just off the top of my head there, but for me, what really helps get these big goals done is to budget it out. If you budget the time out, everything becomes easier. So, accepting that I have to do at least a mile every day to get to 100 miles, I know the math on the weekly level that I will have to use to be able to get there in a decent manner without having to, oh, it's the 25th of the month. I've got 5 days left and I need 50 miles. Now I got to hammer out 10 or 5 10-mile days in a row. You end up having to hammer out 5 10-mile days in a row. Guess what happens? You hammer out 5 10-mile days in a row. You can do it. It's possible. But then this falls off and this falls off. And you probably miss one of those, right? Um, So that's where I'm at for the month. These are the big deals: 30 poetry discussions, 30 products, 5 videos here, and 100 miles. After that, everything else is gravy. But as part of those 100 miles, I want to be able to run 20 of them. These are my creative writing goals. I want to be able to type 20 pages of my novel. I want to write 2 poems. That's a poem every other week. Not going to be terribly difficult, but it's going to be hard to work in with all of those other things. I want to finish 2 short stories. I have a couple short stories partially done now. I need to hammer my way through those. And I want to write 1 flash fiction. 1 flash fiction. Flash fiction is 1,000 words or less. You can sit down and do that in a single sitting. You just have to have an idea. Oftentimes, flash fictions are, 1, very mundane with a very deep insight, or number 2, very zany with a small insight. That's oftentimes how flash fictions end up working. On this channel, I want to have 5 videos, the Saturday uploads. There are 5 Saturdays in April, if I am not mistaken. Yes, 5 Saturdays in April, 5 videos here. I want to get in 200 words on my American Dark Age video, 200 words on my American Dream video, 200 words on my Nihilism video, and 200 words on my Black Widow video. Financial goals on the month: I want to finish $100 below budget. That is a pretty good goal, I think. When I do that, when I finish below my budget, so if I finish $100 below budget, $50 goes back towards next month's cash spending budget. The other 50 gets divvied up between things that I have to save for. Like I've I've got almost $600 saved up for shoes because I don't buy shoes and I need different pairs of shoes now. I need a pair of walking shoes, I need a pair of running shoes. Probably going to have to replace my boots soon. So those 3 things, those 3 pairs of shoes, I want a pair of casual type shoes. 4 shoes, $600 is you're giving a pretty good budget per pair of shoes. Now, of the other $50, so $50 gets reinvested into the next month. 50% of the other $50, so $12.50 goes towards the shoes. Then I have a little bit of money that goes towards investments. I have a little bit of money that goes towards a couple other things that I'm saving for. Speaking of investments, I need to make my investment this month. There are a couple different positions I am trying to round out in my portfolio, and I need to add 1 ticker to my watch list. And finally, my reading goals. I want to get through 200 pages. Again, not much, but it's a lot for these other goals I'm doing. These here, this is going to murder me this month. This is going to absolutely murder me this month. I mean, break it down. To get 100 miles in 30 days, you have to average 3.33 miles. That's at least, I mean, probably about an hour of walking. Do you want to go and make a 20-minute poetry discussion after that? After you want to work 8.5 hours, walk for an hour, make a poetry discussion video, write 1,000 words on another project, and then read 15 pages? It gets tough. And then read 30 poems, obviously. That goes hand in hand with my poetry discussions. But the sort of underlying thing here is I try to make massive moves every once in a while when I can get myself off my butt. Massive moves in a certain direction. Push as hard as I can in a few different places in order to move those stones forward. Now, my creative writing is going to suffer this month. My reading is going to suffer this month. But if I can get these 2 channels, Strip Coverlet and here, push forward, and my off the table, sort of, it's an OnlyFans, guys. I'm starting an OnlyFans, okay? A lot of work to go on my OnlyFans. But that's a joke. That's obviously a joke. But if I can get those 3 areas plus start on the 100 miles, the consecutive 100-mile months, then I think I've got a pretty good thing going on, and I will force change in the self on at least a couple different metrics. That is all I have for goals in the month of April. Um, Let me know your goals. Let me know if you are making progress in any of the things that you're working on. And we'll be back in we'll be back next month for 5 videos. One of them will be the May goals that I'm setting. And again, I hope to hear from you and your goals as well.